What is up, Dragons Remixer? So today, we have another creepypasta to do. I've been looking around to see which one I can react to, and I saw this one. This one's called The Sleeping Game. Now, I never heard of The Sleeping Game, but I did react to The Midnight Game, which you check up on the card on the screen, as well as the playlist of all the other ones I have been reacting to, if in case you want to watch the other ones besides this one. But, yeah, I'm just enjoying reacting to creepypastas because these are just so interesting that Plant just does good creepypastas. I'm not gonna react to more of his, but yeah. If you guys want me to react to more creepypastas, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to be new, and as well as turn on notifications because you'll never know when I do a reaction video just like this one. So let's get into it. This one is 11 minutes long, so this one's this one is good. I can't talk today because my throat's dry. Let's get into it. Bam!
My brother, cousins, and I used to play a game whenever we had a sleepover. It was simple. We'd stay up and scare the living hell out of each other. When we were at Aaron and Kyle's house, it was the scariest by far.
Oh, jeez.
Her house was haunted.
Oh, jeez.
That's what everyone said.
House.
Even her parents knew it. Don't worry about Mr. Toombs, they'd say.
Mr.
He's
Toombs.
harmless. Then they'd laugh and go back to whatever they were doing.
Oh, Jesus.
Mr. Toombs was the man who owned the house before Aaron's parents.
Oh.
He died all alone, and no one realized he was gone until many months later, even though the house got gutted and renovated before it went on the market.
Oh.
We had this feeling he died in the basement right near the furnace. The air there just felt thick and heavy,
Oh, Jesus.
like old, sour breath.
Sour breath.
We'd have our sleepovers a few times a month.
I don't even know about living in a haunted house, but that could be like terrifying. Just living in a house that someone used to live in and died in, it's gotta be terrifying because imagine you trying to sleep and you just feel like a fucking someone just watching over you. Like that happened to me a couple of times. I had to keep waking up at night because I kept feel like someone was watching me in my sleep. It was scary as hell. Ugh, yeah. But that's terrifying. Living on a haunted house freaks me out.
Our parents all worked at the same factory. Whenever they had to take third shift, we'd either stay at home and Aaron and Kyle would come to our house, or Greg and I would go over to Aaron and Kyle's. I never minded all the moving around until Kyle said we had to play that game.
What game?
I hated it.
Oh,
Kyle
no.
was the oldest, and he could be mean if he wanted to.
Oh no.
He wasn't a bully. He usually knew when to back off, and genuinely felt bad if he made one of us cry.
Oh,
But
no.
he still liked to get his way. And that meant we'd have to play the sleeping game.
I hate the sleeping game.
The first time we played the sleeping game, we were at our house. The four of us were in our sleeping bags in the living room, and Kyle started to tell a really terrifying story about a skinny alien that comes through the window and cuts you up.
I've never actually played the sleeping game. If me and the boys were actually doing that, and if we actually played the sleeping game, I don't even know what scary story I have to tell, but yeah, that's just it's gonna be something. Actually, matter of fact, if I would actually tell like a scary story during playing the sleeping game, I would have probably told them about Jack the Ripper or something because I don't know, but yeah, I'm probably gonna say it. Just don't play this game. Just don't.
In your bed. Greg, Aaron, and I hated the story, but I could tell Aaron was especially horrified. She was only 6 after all.
6 years
I
old.
kept telling Kyle to take it easy on his sister, but he was relentless. To Aaron's credit, she didn't cry, but I think that was the problem. He probably would have stopped if she had. The sleeping game went like this. After the story, you weren't allowed to get out of your sleeping bag. No matter how scared you were, you couldn't get up to get water, you couldn't use the bathroom, and under no circumstances could you run upstairs to get comfort from the grown-ups.
Ah.
If you did, you'd have to get an Indian burn from the rest of the group.
Oh, I hate those.
The night of the alien story, I couldn't stop looking at the living room windows. Whenever a car went by and cast its light against the wall, I'd shiver and feel goosebumps rise on the back of my neck.
I would have felt the same thing
Stupid
too.
Greg and Kyle were already asleep. Erin, whose sleeping bag was next to mine, was crying to herself.
I would have passed
She
the
whispered
fuck
to
out.
me that she needed to use the bathroom, and that she was too scared to get up and didn't want to get an Indian burn when she got back. I looked at Greg and Kyle. They were both completely passed out. Go ahead, I whispered. I won't tell anyone. Erin gave me a tight-lipped smile and snuck out of her sleeping bag and padded down the hallway. Right around when I assumed I would hear the bathroom door close, she screamed. It was a shrill, horror-filled explosion from her tiny little lungs. And the three of us, now wide awake, vaulted from our sleeping bags in her direction. We got there a few seconds before my parents were thundering down the steps. They flipped on the lights. Erin was in the corner of the bathroom, sobbing. Her pajama pants were soaked.
Oh, Jesus.
Mom picked her up and held her to her chest and asked what happened. Erin whimpered, "The alien," then pointed to the shower curtain.
Oh, jeez.
Dad opened it. Nothing was there. It was just a shadow, honey, Dad told her. He then glared at us.
Uh-oh.
Come with me, boys,
Oh,
he ordered,
Oh.
and brought us back into the living room while Mom drew a bath
Busted.
for Erin. After a long lecture from my father, we agreed not to tell any more scary stories. Erin eventually came back to her sleeping bag, and with Dad snoring on the couch, we all went to sleep. The next night, of course, brought more stories. They were much tamer, though. Greg told a dumb one about a lady who gets pulled into a grave by a killer.
That was dumb.
I told an even worse one about some teenager whose baby brother's head came off. Erin actually laughed at that one, it was so bad. We got ready to go to sleep, still bound by the agreement that we couldn't get up for any reason until it was morning. At some point during the middle of the night,
Yeah, I would actually...
Greg shook me.
If I actually played the sleeping game with someone else, I would have been passed the hell out. Everyone else would try to sleep or try to wake me up. I'm sometimes kind of like a heavy sleeper because there's also sometimes where I just can't get any sleep at all and I stay up like most of the night, half through the night, and I could just fall freaking asleep. But if I was so tired, I would have been passed the hell out. But yeah, if my kids started playing this game, I would give them a heavy lecture. Just don't ever play this game. Like, this is... Ooh. Ooh. Ugh, jeez.
Awake. Hey, we caught Erin coming back from the bathroom. She was already rubbing her arm in discomfort from the burn her brother had given her. Greg grabbed her other one and twisted, making Erin yelp.
I
took her arm and only squeezed it a little bit.
I hate
I
those
felt
Indian
bad.
burns.
Months went by, and we played the sleeping game every time we were together.
Oh, Jesus.
Everyone got caught at least once trying to sneak out. Indian burns were had by all.
God, I hate
Erin,
those.
though, got the most of it. It was obvious she wasn't having any fun.
It sucks.
To make matters worse, she looked exhausted on the mornings after we played.
Huh.
I brought it up to Kyle, and he thought about it for a minute. Then said we'd do it once a month instead of every time.
Oh, fuck you.
I didn't argue. We kept our little agreement to ourselves because we didn't want Erin to think we were treating her like a baby.
Oh.
That night, we were sleeping at their house. They had a beautifully furnished basement with a large screen TV, a ping pong table, and all sorts of other fun stuff.
Oh.
We set up our
how-
sleeping bags
how
and played
rich are
video
they?
games until well after 10 p.m. My aunt came down and said to turn it all off and get some sleep. So we made like we were getting ready for bed. But when the lights went off, Kyle said it was time for the sleeping game.
God, I hated it.
I groaned, but he shot me a look and mouthed, "Only one," to me. At least he was holding up his end of the bargain. Like we always did, anyone who needed to get up to use the bathroom or get a drink beforehand was allowed to. I went, followed by Kyle, then Erin. Then we all came back.
Oh, boy.
In the glow of the flashlight Kyle liked to hold under his chin when he told his stories, Kyle started to talk about a ghost. The ghost.
Oh, no. Is it
Mr. Toombs.
Mr. Two?
Even Greg looked uncomfortable as he stared at the slatted wooden door, which served as the barrier between the furnished and unfurnished cellar. The furnace was on the other side. Mr. Toombs waits until you're asleep, Kyle whispered, and sucks your breath into his lungs. The longer you sleep, the more he takes away. And if you sleep for too long, you won't have any air left to breathe. And you'll be dead. My eyes were wide with fear, and Greg was just staring at the ground. Kyle, too, looked like he had successfully startled himself, especially when the furnace kicked on and we all jumped. Erin, surprisingly, had actually managed to go to sleep first, despite bawling her eyes out by the end of the story.
Oh boy.
And making Kyle promise to give her his snack at lunch, or else she'd tell on him.
Oh.
I snuck her one of those lifesaver candies I had stashed away to help her feel better. I guess it worked.
Kind of like those little.
The rest of us
sister-brother
tried to go to
things.
sleep. Kyle caught me getting up to use the bathroom and gave me a wicked Indian burn. But since he caught me while he was on his way to the bathroom himself, I was able to reciprocate.
Payback.
Hard. We tiptoed back into the basement, and I got into our sleeping bags. It was the worst night's sleep I ever had. Each time the furnace kicked on, I knew I'd see Mr. Toombs floating above my sleeping bag, ready to suck the life out of me. Like always, my aunt came downstairs in the morning to wake us up for school.
That's just.
She started with gentle calls, then hollers, then shouts. Then, since we always ignored her, she'd stomp down the stairs and threaten to haul us out of the sleeping bags. "Let's go," she ordered. "Get dressed and go get your breakfast." "Erin, if I have to ask you again, I'm gonna flush your goldfish."
She's not waking.
Erin didn't budge.
Oh no.
"I swear to God, Erin, Goldine's going down into the sewer with the Ninja Turtles in 3, 2, 1.
Oh no.
Nothing. Concern flashed across my aunt's face.
Oh no.
Kyle, who had been sleeping next to her, shook his sister. She didn't respond. My aunt rushed across the room and pulled Erin to her.
Oh,
She hung limply out of the sleeping bag.
Oh no.
Everything went really fast for a while. The ambulance came while my aunt and uncle screamed and cried,
Oh,
and Kyle,
no.
Greg, and I just sat there in stunned silence.
Don't tell me.
My parents arrived soon after. They too were also crying. We were all asked if we saw her drink any alcohol or take any medicine. None of us had.
No.
I knew Erin had been the last one to use the bathroom before bed, so I mentioned that. Someone went into the bathroom and returned with an empty bottle of sleeping pills. Through her tears, my aunt insisted that the bottle had been empty to begin with, that she had been saving it so she could remember which kind had worked for her so she could get it again. But there was no other explanation at the time.
Oh no.
Erin was dead.
No!
There was a funeral.
Oh no! God damn it, dude! That fucking ghost got her! I thought that when he said, like, Mr. Toombs will come and, like, suck the breath, and suck your breath away, and you'll be dead. I thought it was, like, in my brain was, like, thinking, oh, you must be joking. No. Oh my god, that's just... This is kind of why, I'm probably going to say it again, this is why you shouldn't be playing the sleeping game. Because this will actually happen to you. Oh my god, I'm just... She was just a little girl too. That, just seeing a little girl die, that's just... it hits my heartstrings. Oh. Man, that sucked. That really sucked.
It was terribly sad,
God damn,
but I went on with my life. Everybody did. I learned years later that the toxicology reports had been negative,
What?
and Erin's death had been ruled an accidental asphyxiation.
Oh,
They
man.
blamed the sleeping bag, and my aunt and uncle sued for millions. When Greg was moving out before his first year at college,
Aw.
I was asked to help load the van. I didn't want to, but I helped anyway. Some of the heavier things were boxed up in the unfinished part of the cellar,
Oh no.
by the furnace. I went down there and tried not to think about poor Erin. When I opened the door and entered the warm furnace room, I remember that feeling I got the first time I had been in there. An image of Mr. Toombs decaying next to the furnace flashed through my head.
Oh.
I shivered. But then I noticed the familiar, strange heaviness in the air. I noticed the smell. It was different from the sour odor that had reminded me of the last breath trapped inside a corpse's rotting lungs. This smell was sweet. It was cloying,
Oh no.
like the breath of someone who had eaten a lime-flavored lifesaver.
Oh. 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 Oh my god. Don't tell me she's the next ghost in the basement. Okay, so Jesus Christ, Plank, if you're watching this, man, you did one hell of a good job of making this. Holy crap. That was intense. It was a good one. Just seeing her just I'm not gonna talk about it, but that was a good one. It was a really good one. If you guys want to react to the past reactions I did, go check out the playlist. Of all the other ones. What else creepypastas you want me to react to? Leave a comment down below of what I should react to, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you do. Go subscribe to me. Let's get to 500 subscribers. And if you want more content, go check out the boys' channels, Mel Rhino, Rusted Fuse, and Sports Millennium. All 3 channels are in the link in the description. And I'm Ray Mason, signing out. Peace, dragons.